You're listening to The Burning Truth. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, dude and dudettes. I'm your host, Matt Burns, and with me I've got John Ballore this week, and I can honestly say, it's been a very eventful week.
It has indeed, for you and for me, for very different reasons. But the net result is, it's a bit late, but we're here.
Yeah, correct. But there's a good reason why we are late, and sadly, it's not because of John Ballore.
What do you mean, sadly? Are you trying to imply that it usually is?
No,
Rude.
No. It isn't. It isn't. No. I'm joking.
It's because of the subject of this
myself.
broadcast. You know, wrestling and the fact that Matt Burns does quite a lot of it.
Lately.
Yeah.
Definitely. And, I've been pretty much non-stop. And I can honestly say, doing a lot of wrestling, but I'll most likely cover some of that a bit later about some of my travels I've been doing.
You've been travelling so much, it is actually ridiculous. I am actually going to have to start calling you Matt Jordan.
Matt Jordan?
Because you're nearly travelling the country as much as Chantel does.
I see what you did there. But
that
I
girl
wouldn't
has
say
an admirable work ethic. No kidding.
That she does. I'm nowhere near that that much travel distance, but I have been doing a lot of travelling. But ladies and gentlemen, let's just get down to business. In the fact that we are going to be discussing some wrestling. As for the reason why we are later than usual, it's due to myself being attending a wrestling show, which I'll probably be mentioning a bit later on.
I was going to say, are you going to mention which one? But no, you'll do it later. That's fine. It's all good.
We'll be doing it later, and we will be discussing some very interesting topics. We've got plenty of WWE. We've got some AEW. We've also got some UK wrestling interesting news.
Indeed, we have. So is that where we're going to start? Or
No. The fact is, some of the UK wrestling news is actually even linked with WWE.
Aha. It all fits together. It's all knitted together like a fantastically fine scarf.
It is, but at the same time, some of the fine-tuning and knitting that has actually occurred is unfortunately going to be bringing up some past subjects, which, if I'm not mistaken, Blore may have actually missed out on. And
I do believe, Sorry, I was in Italy for the last 2 weeks.
And in case if anybody just noticed that Blore's just said, he's been in Italy 2 weeks, then how was he on the broadcast last week? That was actually a pre-recorded episode.
It was. I'm sorry I've given the game away now, but yeah, we recorded that before I went because, we knew I wouldn't be here, frankly, so you didn't notice, but yeah, I've just blown that wide open, so yeah, sorry about that.
But at the same time, it goes to show that we're always thinking of yourselves and we're wanting to make sure we've always got content for you.
Exactly.
And hopefully there should be plenty more of that coming out in the future as well.
With possible horizons being expanded on The Burning Truth.
Correct.
Let's just be enigmatic and vague about that for now and leave that there. But more details to come as and when we feel it necessary.
I'd say most likely later, possibly.
Yeah. Cool.
But anyway,
there's plenty to talk about this week, so shall we get started?
That we do. And let's just get down straight to business, which is WWE Clash of Champions.
Night of Champions.
Clash.
Yeah, I know officially, according to all the WWE nonsense, like the actual official name on the network and everything is Clash, but it's not. There was no match which pitted a champion against a champion. Champions did not clash. It was, okay, yes, the potential was there, because the potential could have been tag team champions fighting it out for the Universal title in the main event. But guess what? Spoiler alert, didn't happen. Night of Champions.
You might have a point there, but it's WWE's titles. They chose the name, and they're going to stick to it.
No, indeed they are. Oh, also, another slight early soapbox here. Yeah, lots of backstage skits, lots of fun regarding it. The comedy title. No match or even a change of hands for the 24/7 Championship. Therefore, every title was not defended. Try harder,
It was still
WWE.
there. It was still being on the run. It was technically on the show still. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe that somebody almost won it.
Almost.
Alexa Bliss?
Almost.
So technically...
Yeah, okay, so does that roll up and 2 count? Does that count as the match on the show for... Okay, whatever.
Yeah, it'll still count.
All right, I'll let them off on that one, but it's still Night of Champions.
Yeah. No, it's Clash of Champions. But anyway, we digress. Anyway, what surprised me with this entire event is because of the whole thing with the King of the Ring. That was originally meant to be happening on there, which, in case if anybody, because you didn't do the predictions, I ended up throwing mine out.
Yeah. How did you get on? Just remind me. I did listen, but I can't remember what you said. All right.
I had a few surprises. One of them being, one of them I didn't actually think was going to actually happen. Actually happened.
There you go. Whereas...
It was the fact that, Eric Rowan defeated Roman Reigns.
Yeah, I was quite impressed with that.
What, the fact that I predicted it? Or it happened?
Well, no, I'm not surprised that you predicted it because this is the fantastic art of sports entertainment. You have your finger well and truly on the pulse, but I thought you were just doing it on the grounds of, yeah, I'd really like this to happen, so I'm going to say it in the hope that it does, but I don't really think it will. And it did.
It was a bit of that, but at the same time, but my body was like, it's not going to happen yet. It's building up to something. It's building up something bigger.
Indeed.
And lo and behold, I was right. I expected Miz to beat Shinsuke Nakamura.
I did as well, especially given the little bit of build-up. It wasn't like monumental or anything because it was massively overshadowed by the Raw side of things and the Raw title and the Raw Tag Team titles. But I expected, with the whole idea that he may equal the record for number of Intercontinental Championship reigns, that he might win, but it wasn't to be.
Especially with the person who's currently got the most WWE Intercontinental Championships.
Yeah, you probably, like me, thought... Now, knowing him, he would have got permission to be where he is now, but at the very same time, perhaps they'll want to, get their foot on the writing in the sand and just scrub it out a bit and just pretend that he doesn't have that record.
Yeah, or just basically have it overwritten.
Yeah, exactly. Just be like, yeah, he did have the record, but now The Miz does, so we don't even have to mention him. But that didn't happen.
Yeah. And the biggest shocker for me was the biggest one I didn't predict and couldn't believe. WWE SmackDown Tag Team Championships.
Yeah, I did not see that coming.
Huh?
Triple Crown Tag Team Champions.
Raw?
Not anymore, it would seem.
I wonder if it's anything to do with the fact that there is a shift coming soon.
A shift? What? Oh, there's a what do you call it?
The draft.
To go with the season premiere, there's a draft, isn't there? Yes.
No, not with the season premiere. It's the week after.
Yeah, well, I said to go with it. It's not part of it because season premiere shenanigans will take up all 3 hours. So it's got to happen the week after. But it's happening across both shows.
Correct. So, and we have got to cover one thing that's on SmackDown that is going to be a soapbox moment and will have to be discussed.
Oh, really?
Really, WWE?
We'll have to discuss one thing that we need to talk about NXT as well. Yeah, and I'm quite pleased about a development that's happened there.
Yeah, but we will do. But look, we digress. What was your overall thought of Clash of Champions? Because there's no point in us rehashing all what happened and everything. What was your personal view of it?
All in all, it was a really good show, actually. I thought I was pleasantly surprised by quite a lot of the results. They're doing their bit to get new and different people actually over quite a lot of the time, which is good. It's not just the same, they're trying to actually utilize the fact that they've got a colossal roster.
Mm-hmm.
We'll just gloss over who the Raw Tag Team Champions are just for a second because, not everything's perfect. But overall, I thought it was a good show with one glaring omission.
Go on.
I think I'm going to have to rename a WWE superstar.
Go on.
Because of the amount that they bury him and the amount that his potential is just being squandered because they won't portray him as what he should be portrayed as.
Yep.
I'm renaming him officially from this point forward The Braun Show, in honor of the last person to get the kind of treatment he's getting.
Yeah, and it didn't end at Clash of Champions.
Well, I have not seen the Raw afterwards yet because
I'm end at Clash of Champions. We will be most likely discussing that probably after we mention the King of the Ring, because ironically, the King of the Ring was originally meant to be on this event, but got bumped.
Well, that's no bad thing, really. When we talk about it in depth, you'll find out why. But, okay, yeah, overall, my impressions were, aside from the Braun Show becoming jobber to the stars and not achieving his potential at all, apart from that, pretty damn good show. What did you think?
I thought they did their best with Braun, with what they did. I thought the way they lost the tag team titles just seemed a bit flimsy.
A bit little silly, yeah.
But understandable.
Up to me, though, like I would have booked that the simple way, right? Retain the tag titles by, Braun obliteration on all sides, and he gets the pin, and he's really dominant. Carry that into the main event. Domination continues. Oh, look, I've got 2 red back belts. Go me.
The problem that they had is they'd already... The problem with this match, at the same time, they'd already let out the cat out the bag that Seth Rollins was already winning.
What, you mean a little bit like they did on Raw the next night?
No. They let it out weeks before.
Oh, I mean, you know what they did on Raw the next night, right?
Yep.
About how they made a big thing of the title match that was going to be on Raw.
Yep.
Even though they'd already announced the champion would be defending his title at the next pay-per-view.
No, that wasn't even at Raw. That was a house show.
What was?
The whole Bray Wyatt?
No. Yeah, the Bray Wyatt is going to be fighting against Seth Rollins
on a house
Hell
show.
in a Cell.
And also on house shows.
Yeah, at Hell in a Cell. But on Raw, they advertised a Universal title match between Seth Rollins and Rey Mysterio, thus completely telegraphing the fact that...
That was the following week.
Yeah, but still, isn't at Hell in a Cell, it's supposed to be Rollins versus Wyatt, so thus completely telegraphing the outcome of Rey's match, because, well, he ain't winning then, is he?
Yeah.
Duh. Not if they've already printed the posters.
I get you. But anyway, we digress. The fact is, the event overall was alright. I thought it did not too bad, especially with, I think it was 8 out of 11 I got.
Yeah, I was going to say, with the exception of one result that we don't think went up, well, 2 in my case. The Raw Tag Team and Universal title matches that didn't go the way I wanted them to. That doesn't necessarily mean they were wrong or bad. And overall, yeah, it was good. You got 8 out of 11, did you say? That's pretty good going.
8 out of 11.
Oh, I am so pleased as well.
Go on.
About... Excuse me, sorry. Got ambushed by a yawn, which is highly inappropriate because I'm talking... Yeah. Speaking of which, that's what I'm so pleased about. Trouble in Paradise, clean pinfall, Kingston retains. I was living in absolute, it's Randy Orton. He's just going to win, isn't he?
Hold that thought. Like, just keep on to that happy thought for now.
Yeah, I know. But on the night, it was a feel-good moment, and WWE did the right thing. So let's just focus on that.
But
yeah, let's just focus on that.
Let's focus on that now for now.
Yes.
But overall, I thought some of the matches went the way they went. One of the matches I couldn't believe I predicted, but I actually expected him to leave with the championship. But they didn't.
Oh, okay.
Sasha Banks.
Yeah.
Got the win, but by disqualification.
Yeah, so that of course is what is it? Old as the stars trick of keeping it going into Hell in a Cell.
True.
And also, what was I going to say as well? I liked the I for one, I know
it was different.
Yeah, it was different, and I know it's dividing a lot of people.
Go on.
But I really, really like where they're going with Bayley at the moment.
I do.
I'm a good friend. I'm a role model. You should cheer for me. I'm what girls look up to, whilst being the absolute number one heel in the company.
I 100%
I really like it.
I 100% agree with you. I like the direction that they are going in. I just feel as though it was rushed. It would have been better. It would have been better on the event, but it was fine. I thought the match she had with Charlotte was way too short.
Well, let's put it this way. Yeah, it was way too short, and we know they can do better because
the finish was rushed.
The match that they had in NXT, which was the start of taking Bayley seriously.
Yeah.
When she was like, I need to beat Charlotte Flair to prove I deserve to be here.
Yeah.
And although I liked the finish, I thought it was a good way to end the match. Give them 10 more minutes, guys. Would it have killed you?
Yeah, unique finish, but then it just looked very rushed. And it was
exactly, yeah. Could have happened. Yeah, they could have quite easily had 10 more minutes.
And then you got Charlotte Flair going, yeah, I can understand why she's done it like that. But then it was like...
Oh, yeah. Well, I think that they were trying to tread a very fine line there, which is like trying to not have Charlotte be a face too much. Hence why after the match, when she's up, she's like, yeah, I'd have pretty much done the same. Fair play to her. Rather than outright throwing a sort of hissy fit or anything which might backfire.
No, but with Charlotte, fair enough. That is fair enough because she's like like a father, a dirty, whose record is
the dirtiest player in the game. Yeah, absolutely.
Fair enough. You can throw the respect around. That's fine. Yeah. Just give a bit more time, because if I'm not mistaken, and I'm gonna hate saying this, or I'm surprised I'm saying this.
All right, brace yourselves, folks. You might be surprised that he's saying this as much as he is.
It's Charlotte damn Flair. It's Charlotte Flair. I think she actually deserves more than 3 minutes and 45 seconds.
Well, I don't mean to be rude, but I think Bayley does as well.
That she does. The point being is, they can have they could have had an absolute barn burner of a match.
They could. Gone 20 minutes, knocked 7 shades out of each other.
Wait.
Absolutely thrown echoes towards, what was it, the Hell in a Cell match, Charlotte and Sasha from 2 or 3 years ago.
That's what I mean. They ended up getting 3 minutes and 45 seconds, yet Sasha Banks and Becky Lynch got about 20 minutes.
Yeah, I think, to be honest, the reallocation of that and a squeezing of a couple of other things and, 12, 15 minutes each wouldn't have hurt anyone, do you?
No. Not really.
Yeah, I thought the finish worked and I thought everything they did worked. Yeah, it just, it could have come about 10 minutes later because we know that both of them can tell a story to fill that time. They just weren't allowed.
Correct. And you know it's bad when the Revival are in the double digits of minutes.
Oh yeah, because the Revival don't even get entries.
What's even more is, right, the shortest match on that card is Bayley versus Charlotte.
Yes.
Do you know what the second one was?
Probably the Raw Tag Team titles.
No.
No?
On the pre-show.
Okay.
AJ Styles versus Cedric Alexander.
Really? Oh,
Less than
okay.
5 minutes.
That's that's surprising actually. I knew that it wasn't very long because I was being like, oh, this is going to be great. Oh, it's over. But I didn't realise it was quite that short.
Yeah. It was 4 minutes and 55.
Yeah, fair enough.
And what does me in for this is, I understand that WWE have got a bit of a thing against the US title for some unknown reason.
Yeah, I don't know why they don't take it seriously, but
look who's got the damn title.
If there's anyone that they can use to give it the reputation that it doesn't seem to have, there's your man right there.
What are you doing? And then you've got, I understand Shinsuke beating Miz is fine with Sami Zayn in his corner.
Yeah.
But where the hell has Shinsuke been?
Exactly. I'm not 100% sure Shinsuke needs Sami Zayn in his corner, but, he's got to be doing something.
Yeah.
Yeah, where has Shinsuke been, and what happened to... Wasn't he a tag team with WWE's other Invisible Man?
Oh, you mean the one that came back?
Oh, he's come back now, has he?
He's come back.
What, now he's officially an American citizen?
He's now back and sporting a mustache.
Yes, which makes him look like...
But the way he got brought back was... really...
Was it sort of like the way they brought Alberto Del Rio back that last time?
I wish.
Look, he's here. Just cheer for him, will you?
I wish.
Hang on. So what was he in the background?
No.
Was he just in the background as someone tried to pin R-Truth for the 24/7 title?
I still wish it was that.
You wish it was that? Oh my God! What did they do?
You'll see. We'll be discussing that possibly not long after we mention King of the Ring, because that'll be on the Raw subject.
All right. Well, shall we get on to King of the Ring, because
because I will say Raw have had some sore subjects, but anyway, we'll discuss that.
Yeah.
Right. Anyway, moving on from Clash of Champions, I thought overall not the best shows, but above average.
Given the not patented in the slightest, because this is the first you've heard of it, Burning Truth out of 10 score
7.5
I was going to say 7, so yeah, at least we're on the same page there. Perfectly acceptable, good night of entertainment. Could have been better in certain areas, but not bad by any stretch of the imagination.
Correct. Now, WWE King of the Ring
has been a tournament which they have reshuffled because apparently they don't want to do another Cruiserweight Classic and they need something to fill airtime with on Raw.
Right, fine. All right. They're using the filled time on. Okay. I missed the old big event days, especially with the month it was on.
Yeah, seriously. They can do the Cruiserweight Classic. They can do the Mae Young Classic. The amount of talent they've got, seriously, why is King of the Ring not a 32-man tournament? The final 7 matches of which, the quarterfinals, semi-finals, and finals, are on a pay-per-view to round out, like a week of competition.
Yeah, and the thing is, with the King of the Ring competition, the original days, it was meant to be an endurance test.
Exactly. So making it a 32-man competition over 3 days, in the vein of the Cruiserweight Classic or the Mae Young Classic,
Will still
makes
work.
perfect sense because then you'd have to win your round of 32 match, your round of 16 match, your round of 8 match, your round of 4 match, and the final. That's 5 matches you've got to win to become King of the Ring.
Yeah,
Nothing screams endurance more than that.
it doesn't. But they didn't.
And like I say,
Right.
they've got plenty enough people on the roster and doing nothing who could have had, a bit of TV time.
Yes. And then it came down to the final two.
Yeah, the wrong final two. We've already established
No, no,
this.
no, no, no. Wrong. Only one was wrong.
Okay.
One was only wrong. And I'll explain this because I actually was watching the whole tournament, and I can honestly say Chad Gable damn well deserved his spot.
Well, I have been watching 205 Live, and I had the pleasure of watching both of his matches with Jack Gallagher. And, well, all I can say is Jack Gallagher should be on the main roster having matches in the same position that Chad Gable is, because they took each other to the absolute limits. It was insane how good it was. And yeah, next thing you know, Chad Gable is lighting up King of the Ring, and Jack Gallagher isn't.
Yeah. So anyway, we digress. Chad Gable has been absolutely killing it in on the King of the Ring tournament. Absolutely dominating, showing how good he is and everything.
Yeah.
Baron Corbin got what? He got somehow put into a triple threat midway through the tournament because two guys got counted out.
Yeah, which didn't mean a bye because they were both eliminated. Oh no, they both get to go again.
They should have been gone and just given the bye.
Yeah.
Which would have made Baron Corbin into more of a evil man. He gets away with it.
Yeah, because he's a bastard and he doesn't care.
Correct. And what did we do? Oh no, we'll just put him into a triple threat to make people believe that it's not going to be Corbin.
Which
then give it to Corbin.
That, yeah, don't even get me started.
Right.
King of the Ring.
So where's the payoff going to be?
Biggest misstep.
Where's the payoff from that then? Corbin is somehow still in the final. Okay. And Chad Gable, who's been endorsed by Kurt Angle.
Of course he has, yes.
Almost like another son.
No, don't mention that. We're not allowed to mention that.
Almost.
We're not allowed to mention that. That's going in the storyline bin with what Booker T needed all those candles for that time. We don't talk about that.
Correct. We'll save that for a special.
For another special, yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, the point being is on the cusp, which is perfect for the King of the Ring.
Absolutely, it's someone who
got to the final.
We
got to the final. He's looks like he's going to win, and they didn't.
No, because Vincent Kennedy McMahon, Esquire, cannot resist at least once a week on something.
And it makes it worse.
Actually reminding us, yeah, I know what you want better than you do. Losers. What?
He's a fan of Chad Gable.
Yeah, that's just indefensible, but we shouldn't be surprised. But
he's a fan of Chad Gable.
Yeah.
But he isn't doing it.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on there. It's perplexing.
I know that Baron Corbin, or in some cases, some people call him, Baron Baldy Bastard Corbin.
Or Baron Boring, as I like to call him.
Snoresville. And what makes it worse is he doesn't even dress up like a damn wrestler.
Yeah, what is the deal with that? I remember briefly during his ill-fated run as a villain. Sorry to go back to him again, but he's a good comparable point. Yeah. Gentleman Jack Gallagher started fighting in a suit.
Yes.
At which point, 205 Live General Manager Drake Maverick had a word with him and said, "Now, Jack, you and I both know those are very fine suits." Mentioned the name of them to get a cheap plug. As a matter of fact, I own 2 of them.
Yes.
But if there's one thing I can tell you they're not, it's wrestling attire. So would you kindly get yourself some?
Correct.
And from that next week on, Mr. Gallagher wore wrestling gear.
Right, which is great.
Why is Corbin being allowed to get away with it?
No,
okay, I understand why he started wearing the suit. It was because he was the whole thing with the GM of Raw.
Sheriff of Raw.
Yeah, he's not that anymore. He needs to just go back to doing wearing what he wore before.
Nope. Right. Okay. So you're not going to do that?
Hold on. Why do I detect the worst of the soapbox is not gone yet?
It isn't.
Oh my good lord. Take a deep breath. Make sure you sat down, ladies and gentlemen.
And it's not even on Corbin yet. It's not on Corbin.
Wow.
Because I've got 2 major boxes.
Well, so one of them, you've got the Corbin box, and there's a separate one?
Yep.
So which one are we getting now?
We are now getting let's just move on to... Right. I understand that they need to jack up the Fiend.
Yes.
Great that he turns up on... Great that he turned... you know what? I'm going to hold off on that one, actually. Let's just mention a bit of the 24/7 Championship first.
Which is all huge fun.
Right, okay.
I don't actually understand...
Kane winning it.
Yeah, odd but predictable.
Winning it briefly, and then losing it back to R-Truth.
Yeah. Oh, I'd just like to correct you there.
What?
Kane did not win the 24/7 Championship.
Yes, he did.
Mayor Glenn Jacobs won the 24/7 Championship.
Okay.
This is if that doesn't add more fuel to your fire. Yes. I would also just like to point out. Hold on.
I feel like I just had an aneurysm just from when you said that.
Well, I didn't want to actually be responsible for giving you an aneurysm, but I did fear that might be the response.
Yeah.
Right. Ladies and gentlemen, just out of interest, by the way, R-Truth, now a 19-time WWE champion.
And now a former.
Yeah, well, 19 so far.
Former. He's now a former.
Yeah, he's now a 19-time former champion, but the point is...
Have you seen who the current champion is?
Yes.
Carmella.
Yes, which is good. The point I was going to make is this title is rapidly going... Well, first of all...
What makes it worse?
The DDT Heavy Metalweight Championship, which was set up as a parody of the WWF Hardcore Championship.
Yeah.
Yeah, and now the 24/7 title is a parody of a parody. But I'm living in fear of some of the things they might do because there is a Japanese guy who, at the last count, was 257 times DDT Heavy Metalweight Champion. And are WWE going to do that? Are we going to end up with R-Truth 257 times 24/7 champion? Bet against it. And stop shuddering at the back.
I can't. I just can't. It's the fact of, okay, what I didn't get is that when R-Truth was the champion...
Yes.
Right, he had all the guys running after him.
Yeah.
Kamala was the smart enough one to roll up R-Truth to then get the pen.
Yep.
Fine. And why is it that only the women were chasing Carmella, but the guys weren't for the championship?
And if that is the case, that only the women will go after Carmella, how is it now a women's championship? How is a guy going to win it back?
And yet, they did it fine, but they didn't have any male wrestlers after Maria when she was pregnant with it.
No.
Didn't get me started on that one.
Hold on. What did they do? I'm just trying to see. What did they do with Candice Michelle?
Medusa.
No, that was after. Hold on. My phone is being a
Didn't she
pain in the...
pin Pat Patterson?
Yeah, I'm just trying to get my way.
Let's just digress. Let's just move on. We'll be here all day if we continue on.
Yeah. Did you know, by the way, as well as Mayor Glenn Jacobs, did you know that somebody called Enes Kanter, who is not a wrestler, and somebody called Rob Stone, who I believe has something to do with Fox college football show, have also been 24/7 champions.
Don't even get me started.
He's not in.
It looks like we are currently busy at the moment. The line's just as...
Do you know what? Line. We're on air. Call back in an hour.
Of all the times for it to go off.
Yes.
But anyway.
Note to self, Batman's needs to put his phone on silent.
That wasn't an actual mobile. That was the landline.
Oh, yeah. Pesky things. You can't put them on silent. That's why I haven't got one.
Yeah, but anyway. We digress, but anyway.
Yeah, 24/7 title. I like it. They're playing it for laughs. It's fun. But, seriously, it's been around, 3-4 months?
Correct.
Truth is the 19-time champion already. They should slow it down just a wee bit.
That they should.
Drake Maverick, 6-time champion.
That they do it. That
Elias
they
and
should.
EC3, 4-time champions already. I mean, fair play. These are guys that aren't going to get a sniff of a WWE title anywhere else if the situation stays where it is. But
correct. I understand. Yeah, but the thing is, with it, it was just unbelievable. But anyway, but with the fact of in regards to it, it's just the fact it's just bad. Let's just move on.
Yeah.
I'm already got a headache already.
And we haven't even got to the main thrust of why you're annoyed with Karen Boring winning King of the Ring.
Right. But anyway, if you want to just tell us your personal view in regards to the whole fact of the 24/7, what's your personal view on it?
I like I say, I like it. I think it's... Ooh. I like it, I honestly do. I think it's fun. I think it's a sensible title. It's like the hardcore title without the unnecessary... It's like the hardcore title, but without the unnecessary career-shortening stiff chair shots and thumbtacks and light tubes. Oh, wait, no, WWE never used them. You know what I mean, though. I quite like the idea, and WWE are clearly playing it for laughs, similar to... There's a British company that have got a similar title, and the DDT heavy metal weight as well. But the thing is, it's like, yeah, I appreciate the fact that anyone can win it as well.
Yeah, I get what you mean.
But WWE do keep, for the sake of a comedy title, they don't have to keep painting themselves into some unnecessary corners.
I get what you mean, definitely. But anyway, we digress. But that's like I believe it was the Attack Pro one, is it? You on about?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, the one that Martina held for ages.
Yeah, I think that was the Attack Pro one. But anyway, we digress. The point being is the title's become a bit more of a joke, and it's fine and dandy, but then it's what are they doing next with it?
Yeah. Is it going to go down the road of the the heavy metal weight championship where it just becomes ludicrous? That title, by the way, for example, was once won by itself when they folded the end straps of the belt over the main plate and determined that the belt had pinned itself and it was the champion of itself.
I can see that. You've predicted it. I can see that happening.
Yeah, it has also been won by the entire crowd at a wrestling show, a can of beer, and a soft toy. Oh, and an invisible man. I can't wait till WWE tries that one.
Oh, good Lord, you forgot, didn't you? Little Jimmy.
Yes, I did, but trust me, the WWE writers haven't. He's going to reappear at some point.
He's going to reappear. Really? Oh, God, no.
No, stop banging your head against the wall. Stop, please, for your own safety.
Unless that is the time when they're going to actually have it go missing and never see the light of day. But anyway, we digress. Let's just get on to more bad things in regards to WWE.
Yeah. Oh,
but anyway, the point being is with WWE, we've got the King of the Ring that's been brutally covered. Then we've got Braun Strowman.
The Braun Show. Mr. Wasted Potential.
And I understand that the Fiend needs to be put over. Right?
Yes.
And on the first week that you missed, they sacrificed Kane. Not Glenn Jacobs.
To be fair, understandable because he's very much in the twilight of his career. Fine. It's not going to do him any harm, really. A la Mick Foley to, put everybody over on the way out.
Yep, fine.
So far, so reasonable. But I get the feeling it goes downhill from there.
Yeah, it does.
By week 3, were they sacrificing the almighty beast of, I don't know, the Ascension?
No.
Would that have been an improvement?
Yes.
Hornswoggle?
Still an improvement.
The ghost of Chris Jericho's reputation?
Still an improvement.
Did they actually physically have him pin Air and claim that it was something really, really unpleasant and unnecessary and degrading? I don't know, like the ghost of Eddie Guerrero or something?
I think that's too far.
No, I don't know. You keep encouraging me to go plumb the depths further and further,
no,
so I just had to guess something. No, what? They didn't go that far?
No, not that.
Well, can I just for once say thank goodness for that, because that would have been horrendous.
Yes, it would have been. But anyway, the point being is...
So go on. You just put me out of my misery. What? Who?
They decided on last week's Raw, or should I say technically this week's Raw, to have Braun Strowman, have Seth Rollins say he's terrified of the Fiend, rightly so, in a good promo.
Yeah, good way to get him over as what he is, which is frightening and worthy of having literally everyone run away from him.
To then have Braun come down, state if he has any issues with anybody, he tells them face to face. You said, and what's the deal with you supposedly being scared to face me again? He goes, no, I'm not saying I was scared of facing you again. I was just thinking, just look at all the challenges I've got the Fiend, I've got whoever wins the 5-way elimination match that would occur on Raw, which, looking enough at Mysterio ended up winning, and it'd just be a lot on my plate. I'm not saying it be that's a lot for anybody to take on, but to say I'm scared of you isn't the case. Okay. So
so far so sensible.
The WWE don't do rematches, but champion accepted it, But then Strowman just turns around and just goes, so hang on, are you challenging me? And Seth just goes, take it however you want. I don't mind dealing with you. And Strowman then says, fine, you're getting these hands later in the night. Meaning, match.
Yes, well.
For the WWE Universal Championship. Fine. Happens. And it looks like Braun Strowman is on the cusp of getting the win.
The much deserved, long anticipated, about bloody time. He is the monster among men, for God's sake. Just give him the strap. Win. Yes.
Lights cut out. Electrical noises. And Bray Wyatt appears.
Yep.
Now, you think, to protect Braun Strowman, have him attack Seth, throw the damn match out, because he's technically still going to be winning.
Yeah, have him attack Seth, make scary faces at the Fiend, leave,
quickly,
and then have the Fiend terrorize Seth.
But leave quickly.
Yeah, leave through the crowd if necessary. Just be like,
no,
I ain't scared of you.
Because he wants no part of Strowman.
Yeah, I ain't scared of you, but I want no part of you. Goodbye.
Yeah. Did that happen?
Well, clearly we're here talking about it, so no.
No, it didn't.
Go on, for the benefit.
Braun got mandible clawed and buried.
Well, yes.
Understand.
I totally understand. That is a fantastic way to get Bray Wyatt over. Look, biggest, scariest, most frequently jobbing monster on the card. Buried. I've beaten him. But the whole most frequently jobbing part means it's really not the achievement it should have been.
It's just
he's like Big Show in about 2001.
It's a shame because
for an unstoppable, huge, there's nobody bigger than him, absolute wall of momentum. He don't half get his ass handed to him a lot.
That's what I mean. It's just
seriously, within 6 months of Strowman debuting, he should have won the Universal Championship, and he should have lost it about last week.
Correct.
But yeah,
couldn't agree more. But anyway,
first thing, 6 months in, first title opportunity, wins, 3-year title reign. When he finally loses it, we're under no illusions whatsoever that in that whole 3 years he's maybe lost 2 matches by nefarious means, namely disqualification or whatever, and he's never lost the title. When he does finally lose it, A, that's money, and B, he's spent so long on the absolute rampage, 1 loss doesn't hurt him.
Yeah.
But as it is, he's almost Rusev levels of unsalvageable. And that makes me sad.
Speaking of which, he's returned.
Hooray! Happy Rusev Day.
And how did they make him come back?
As a heel that hates America.
Oh no, as a heel, supposedly a part of the damn stupid storyline of Maria Kanellis and Mike Kanellis.
What?
Yeah.
No, sorry, even as a casual, occasional observer of Raw, who watches it when he remembers when it's 4 weeks out of date on the WWE Network, that makes no sense.
Yeah. It gets worse.
Right, well, seriously, don't be about the bush, because just tell me, because I don't think my nerves can take much more of this.
They have her come out because she's pregnant.
Yes.
Stating to Mike that he's not the father. And first makes the assumption that Ricochet's the daddy.
Oh dear. But I get the sense this isn't the time to say that, because yes, this is going to get worse, isn't it?
And then Ricochet's like, "What the hell?"
Ricochet's response is, "I think you'll find I am not, sir. I have a lady friend, and it is not this red-headed
correct,
Harrigan."
Correct. Wait. quite. All I'll just say to you is, you've then got Michael Cole saying, oh, they could name the baby this, that, and also Trevor.
Really, Cole?
Trevor.
Really?
Why?
You went there?
Yeah.
Really? For those of you that don't know why that's an absolute disgrace, well, congratulations. You obviously just watch wrestling because you enjoy it and you don't feel like you need to know everything, and you're probably better off for that. So we're not going to explain it to you, but trust us, it's a disgrace.
It's bad. Really, Matt Cole, really.
Why don't they could also call it Sean?
Could have.
And for those of you that don't get what I did there, point A is linked to point B. Yeah. You know, you can work it out if you really want.
Yeah, you could. But anyway, we will continue because, okay, Ricochet won. Yes. Hooray! In short fashion. To then say, and then go, oh, by the way, I joked about it. I lied about it being Ricochet. I honestly thought it'd bring out the best in you. But you show that you're so lackluster. I'm going to bring out the real father.
Let me guess, this was more shenanigans. We didn't just cut straight to, oh, is this what you've got for me on my return? Oh, okay, then. There was someone else first, wasn't there?
No. Ricochet had his match against Mike Kanellis, and this is straight after that match. To then have himself walk out as the supposed.
That's, I only have one question.
And it makes it even more funny.
What?
Michael Cole turning around saying, oh, we know that Marie, there's no way it's Rusev. There's absolutely no way it's Rusev, blah, blah, blah. Especially, because we all know he's already married, blah, blah, blah. And you've got to give Corey Graves credit.
You quite often do. Corey Graves and his withering put-downs quite often save an awful segment. Go on, what did he say on this occasion?
And says, at any point did you hear Rusev deny it?
One of those sharp intake of breath while you collectively, as the audience, go, well, hang on, wait a minute, shit, no, he didn't.
No, he didn't.
Oh, no.
And there is such a thing as infidelity.
Yes.
No, think about that from him.
It's at this point I feel I must borrow a Corey Gravesism, which I really must work into my commentary at some point, if I haven't already.
Go on.
Well, of all the ludicrous things I've heard, that was the most recent.
Yeah. So straight away it was like, oh crap.
Yes.
Right. Anyway,
that is actually what do you know what that reminds me of? At the same time, that is both amazing and, do you know the one thing in pro wrestling history that it reminds me of?
It's technically an oxymoron.
Yeah, no. Do you know the one thing it reminds me of in terms of the sort of tell me you didn't just say that moment in wrestling history, and that is Mr. Robert Heenan, Esquire.
Yeah.
On the day he forgot to plug his brain in, I give you the sentence that almost killed it before it had even begun. Well, here comes Hogan. Well, what side is he on? Dear me, no. You really didn't think that through, did you?
Yeah. But anyway.
Way to telegraph it, you blithering idiot.
Yeah, but anyway, we digress. Luckily enough, the following week...
seem to do quite often. Let's try and get back on track.
Luckily enough, Rusev wasn't involved around the whole Maria storyline again.
Well, this is good.
The following week, he ended up just coming out crushing EC3.
Hang on, who? Kanellis or Rusev?
Rusev.
Oh, okay.
Kanellis decided to come out and say, oh dear, sorry, but you fell up a little bit short. Yada yada yada. I'm here to teach my wife that size does matter because you're so small. To then have Chad Gable obliterate Mike Kanellis.
Oh no, fair enough. I mean, Mike Kanellis is unsalvageable, and Chad Gable has got future champion written all over him.
True,
but did that really need to happen?
It did happen, but it's just... No.
Yeah, did it need to, though?
No.
Honestly, no. But I know it did, which is... Right,
anyway.
Let's move on. Let's talk about something good, shall we? Because we seem to have gone through the absolute wrestle crap of the week.
We haven't finished yet.
I was dreading those words, but I did sense they might be coming. Okay. Can we wrap this up quickly before I lose the will to live?
Yes, let's move on to SmackDown very quickly.
Okay.
Especially to discuss two things. One good, one bad.
Okay.
Let's get the bad one out the way.
Okay.
Why? I understand that they are moving SmackDown to a new network.
SmackDown.
Yes.
Friday Night SmackDown is back on Fox, people. The show that's had more nights of the week than Rob Van Dam.
Yes. And what's the main event? Really?
Rhino against the Big Show?
No.
Mr. Local Jobber against Monty Brown?
No.
No, I'm lost. Just put me out of my misery. By drawing straws in the parking lot.
No, by somebody walking out and challenging Kofi. Kofi accepted.
So, it was a challenge for the WWE Championship.
Yeah.
Accepted by Kofi Kingston. Okay, are we talking someone who... Are we talking someone who is Stevie Richards' level of... Well, he's not going to win, is he? Implausibility.
It's the opposite.
What? So it's not implausible he's not going to win. It's the case that...
He's definitely going to be winning more likely.
And he didn't have three initials which like to come out of nowhere, did he?
No.
Good. Hang on. Someone came out and challenged Kofi.
Yeah.
And was very likely to win.
Yeah. But
this could go very good way or a very bad way.
It's bad.
So it's not Kevin Owens then.
No, because he's going to be on the good subject.
Okay. Hang on, I'm just trying to trawl through
and it wasn't
the worst
even,
person it could possibly be.
Makes it even worse.
What?
He didn't even say it himself. He had his advocates say it for him. Say it.
Tell me you didn't just say that.
I did just say that.
Tell me you didn't just say that, sucker.
I did. It is.
If what you're about to tell me is true, and Kofi Mania is over...
It will be.
At the hands of that...
individual?
Plastic cage fighter.
Oh dear.
Me no likey. No, don't get me wrong. He's spectacularly good at what he does, which is making people hate him.
Yeah.
And you know what? He just needs to stay retired because nobody cares.
And if Kofi gets the win, wow, massive props. They're really siding with Kofi then.
Yes. He's absolutely got to. through
doesn't,
by hook or by crook or by both other members of the New Day eating 273,000 German suplexes each and
yeah,
it wearing him out or something, he's got to.
yeah,
Because I, for one, will be sat there in my living room in front of my TV with a sign which I'll have made specially for the occasion. One which shows up how much I don't even want to mention his opponent's name, which will read, "If Kofi doesn't win, we riot."
yeah. It's Brock Lesnar.
For anyone who's been living under a rock on Mars for the last 4 years and didn't get that.
Or has been on holiday, hint hint.
Yeah. So is that the title match for
SmackDown.
the show entitled Hell in a Cell? Or for the first...
No, first.
Oh, no, that... Okay, yeah, that'll be a non...
SmackDown.
Yes, that will go to a non-finish because it will then go to Hell in a Cell.
Nope.
What?
Nope.
Has it already happened?
No. It's not already happened. They've not even announced Kofi's match. I can't see Lesnar going to Hell in a Cell. Come on. WWE don't pay him enough.
Well, the thing is, right, do you know what I can see happening? I can see it being like a rerun of the first ever... Was it the first ever match between Stone Cold and Mr. McMahon?
Yeah.
I can just see shenanigans getting going and it all breaking down and the match never even starts.
Yeah, somehow. And it goes
And
to...
then Lesnar... damn it, you made me swear. Just obliterates Kofi, but for nothing because the match didn't start, so it means nothing. So, yeah, and then he goes away forever.
Not happening. Because there's a reason behind this, possibly.
Can we just get this over with and talk about something positive before this whole show gets dragged into the gutter?
The reason why it might happen, we'll cover that next week.
Okay.
Definitely. But the fact
Fair
that
enough.
Lesnar has got a title match by just walking down, I want a match against you. Go for going, okay, I'm a fighting champion. And then got F5'd immediately.
Yeah, that's nonsense, but unfortunately...
This was straight after he beat Randy Orton on SmackDown.
Figures.
Right.
That's terrible. Right, should we talk about something positive now?
Positive. Wow.
Positive?
Kevin Owens.
Yes.
Kevin Owens has been absolutely knocking it out of the park. Now,
Kevin
yes,
Owens has
I
done
understand.
nothing but knock it out of the park since WWE hired him, and he's finally getting recognition for that.
And you know what the stupid thing about it is?
What?
He was fired.
By Shane.
Yeah.
For calling it down the middle in a refereeing thing, which meant that Shane lost. If you've ever heard anything so stupid.
But he only lost because he even actually bent the rules towards Shane's side.
That's what I'm saying. He did what Shane wanted in calling it down the middle as Shane was here, which was ludicrously in Shane's favour. But at the end of the day, the rules are the rules, and...
He tapped out.
Yeah.
But anyway, he got fired. But the fact that he was fired, you thought, oh no, he's not going back. Genius would it be, have him come out, state he's suing. Because then that means more mic time.
Absolutely.
Wow.
And trust me, you thought he was good as a heel. Heel, face, it doesn't matter. Kevin Owens is this generation's Mick Foley, Rock, Stone Cold, and very probably, I'm just trying to think of about 5 other prominent talkers. Shawn Michaels.
You're about to say CM Punk?
Shawn Michaels and CM Punk all rolled into one on the mic. He's possibly the best wrestler ever when it comes to promos on main roster WWE so far. There are a couple currently in NXT that can run him close, but...
All I'll say to you is, just remember one of them names because they could very well be returning to WWE soon.
Okay.
One of them, their names. But we're not going to fully break down into it. I'll just mention there is a rumour mill going around but I'll discuss that after this very briefly, and most likely cover the subject next week when we've got more information on it.
What about this person coming back?
Yes.
Okay, that's fine. But okay, that's fine. We'll do that possibly next week or whenever we have more information. But for now, carry on eulogizing about how brilliant Kevin Owens is, because
Kevin Owens has been doing an absolute great storyline, and has even managed to find a way of getting Shane off TV.
Oh, fantastic! Tell me, what is it?
The fact that he is basically, with the whole thing with them suing, Shane saying, "Oh, he could drop the fine, blah blah blah," if he just drops the action, the court cases and everything.
Drops the lawsuit,
he'll even get rid of the fine, blah blah blah. And Kevin Owens goes, "You a dumbass, really." It wasn't about the money. It was just about getting this mic time, and the fact of getting rid of you from the locker room.
Yeah, which is exactly what it is.
No, regardless of the money, they make the one thing out of that lawsuit I wanted is you out the locker room. I'll do you a deal. It's a future date that we set. We set a match, me versus you. You win, I drop the entire case. I win, I get to come back full time, no fine, and you're fired. Oh, and seeing as how, let me guess, you about to say what match? What match? Well, your whole family are always saying how everybody has to step up, climb up the ladder. You got to reach for the brass ring, so they called. Why don't we hang it above the ring? Ladder match, baby.
Oh, yes.
Wow.
And something tells me the roof came off the place.
Pop, 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 pop. Done. Mic drop. Done. That's all I have to say on the good moments. The fact is, fantastic. Kevin Owens has been knocking it out the park. But anyway, as I mentioned,
he should be trusted to do at all costs, because to quote Mark Henry, Kevin Owens should steal Mark Henry's slogan.
Because that's what I do.
Knock it out of the park, because that's what I do.
Pretty much. But anyway, with that, I'll just return back to the original subject with you saying, he's almost as great for mic work. Are you ready for the person who is rumoured to be possibly returning?
My guess is...
Only because they've been having discussions.
My guess is it doesn't rhyme with BPM Funk.
Actually,
no, it doesn't. Don't even wind me up.
It does.
Well, I know for a fact that WWE is the place of forgive and forget, and if there's money to be made, pretty much any hatchet can be buried, but...
Yeah.
Tell me, you didn't just say that.
I did just say that. And this actually retorts to a certain comment that has actually been happening from when he was at StarCast. The fact that he was actually asked, would you ever ignore WWE if they ever wanted to speak to you? Of course I wouldn't. Why would I?
Well, first order of the day. Welcome back. Here's a WWE Championship feud with Kevin Owens. You've got an open mic, free reign to say whatever you like, and 3 years. Get on with it.
I love it. But the fact is, it's only rumour mill.
Well, put it this way, right? Bring it on.
But I'll discuss that next week.
Ah, wonderful.
When we actually have more, more to discuss about it.
Yeah, anyway, and when it actually happens and that music hits,
jaws will drop.
Yeah, I will absolutely. Uh, just might possibly be. Just might possibly be the best moment that doesn't feature the three golden letters N, X, or T to happen to WWE this century. That's how good it'd be.
Yeah. And speaking of that, and there is one more piece of WWE news that we will be discussing later, but that'll be under a different category.
Indeed.
But anyway, we do need to move on, and I thought the fact that you just mentioned NXT was a nice little segue. Straight
Well,
into our next...
I do work at this just a little bit.
Seeing as we have got to move on to the next subject, which is NXT Live.
NXT Live, your new, improved, 100% bigger live NXT experience. Except it kind of wasn't for the first 2 weeks. Because what channels? Oh yeah, USA hadn't quite finished airing Suits, I believe, some such telly show. Anyway, so for the first week it was an hour followed by an hour on the network. For the second week it was only an hour.
Yeah.
Next week, this coming week, it will actually be 2 full hours of live, twice the goodness.
Correct, but at the same time,
XT. Oh, and the best announcement that comes with that was, speaking of who a certain Mr. Flunk,
yeah,
the only person in current NXT who can match him population-wise, and his own little pipe bomb moment on last week's show.
Go on.
I ain't going anywhere. Johnny Wrestling is NXT for life.
But here's the scary thing about it.
What?
This is the proper scary thing about it. About the whole thing with NXT. It's just developed in such an amazing way.
It has, and it is now a brand in its own right, which means it can't just be transient. People are no longer going to just be dropping through on their way to the main roster. It's going to be a destination like Raw or SmackDown, quite rightly, that people want to get in and stay in. And I, for one, can't wait because, well, seriously, Nate, you know when people say, I was listening to the Distraction Pieces podcast that Scroobius Pip does with the host of Tuesday Night, Jaw, and former Future Shock alumni of mine. He's gone on to do slightly better things in wrestling than me, but what can you do? Mr. Matt Richards. When, and I think Pip mentioned, name your favourite era in all of wrestling in any company and any country ever. And I have to agree with Scroobius Pip's analysis, which is NXT 2012 to now.
And it's still going.
Well, yeah, and that's the beauty of it, is it's ongoing, it's magnificent. Well, like I say, I believe when I first came back onto The Burning Truth, what was it, getting on for a year ago now?
Yeah.
We first did a review of a takeover. We were like, they're going to have a bad show sooner or later. They can't keep hitting it out the park. A year later, no signs of it happening.
And they're even going live.
Yeah. But yeah, I for one cannot wait because, well, as you regular listeners will be aware, NXT is my bread and butter in WWE. I don't watch Raw and SmackDown unless I remember to. And like I say, so much has happened and so much have we talked about in the 4 weeks before it comes on the network. I usually don't bother by them because I've seen all the best bits anyway. But I do not miss NXT. So twice as much every week. Yes, frickin' please.
Too right.
And you know what the other best bit about that is?
Go
on. I think because the next NXT takeover is War Games. Well, in the War Games match will undisputedly be a certain era. You know, the ones who have all the titles.
Yep.
So who else I think might be in that based on current events over the last couple of weeks? A certain other 4-man faction. who've currently decided that the UK is simply not a big enough playground for them.
True. Imperium?
The very same. The Austrian chop machine.
Cardiac arrest.
Is that what it's called? The couple of Germans
No. That's what I call it, not what he calls it. He calls it a chop. Or death.
Instant cardiac arrest, yeah. But as I'm saying,
call it a cardiac arrest.
The Austrian chop machine, the two German psychopaths for very different reasons, and the bald American who we're pretending is Italian for the sake of the gimmick.
Mm-hmm.
But nonetheless, those four against Undisputed Era. I only have one question, really.
Go on.
Who the hell do you pick as the third team in that War Games match?
No idea.
Assuming it's going to be 3-4 man teams.
Generally, no idea.
I think I have a very sensible idea where three of them might come from, but I don't know who the fourth one will be.
Go on.
I think three of them might feature a certain other faction that has quite a lot of beef with Imperium. And there'll be a lot of moustache twirling going on. But who they'll pick as their fourth member, I've got no idea.
British Strong Style.
Indeed.
True. That would be all.
That could happen. But also, if they've got plenty of other people on... Wow, can you imagine if they somehow managed to make it into a four-way?
True. That
Find
could do.
someone else that the Forgotten Sons can pair up with. They can get chucked in there. Any other current tag team or pair of tag teams that have similar goals can team up. But yeah, basically, Undisputed Era will be in there. They could face off against Imperium and anybody else on the roster. I'm looking forward to War Games so much.
Fair enough. But anyway, we've got plenty that's been happening on NXT. On NXT itself, it's just knocking it out.
Absolutely.
It's something that is going back and forth. It's something that just seems to be on a roll.
Oh, absolutely. I for one am loving the amount of screen time they're giving Damo and Matt Riddle. Sorry, Dane. Mr. Killian Dane and Matt Riddle, because those two just seem to find new and inventively sadistic ways to knock 77 shades out of each other every time they fight.
True, but they've just wrapped that up just recently.
Yeah, I know, but don't get me wrong, I love how much airtime it was given, how much they appear to be pushing Damo, which is fantastic.
True, and it's always good to see. Always Absolutely. Good to see. But anyway, we are going to have to most likely push on. But one thing I will state is that NXT Live won't be the only wrestling that is live. We will most likely have another wrestling show, but we'll discuss that shortly.
Yes, the Wednesday Night War.
Yeah,
apparently is apparently starting. Apparently,
but we will segue it into that, as much as this would be a perfect time to do it. But we've got to discuss one more piece of WWE. Well, two more pieces of WWE news actually. Well, one WWE, one part WWE because he's linked with WWE.
Stop beating about the bush. Just tell us what it is we've got to discuss.
That's fine. I'll discuss the quick one, which is the fact that if anybody does listen to the E&C podcast of Awesomeness, will notice that their most recent episode is most likely the final episode.
Oh, is that so?
Because E is leaving. E is retired again, as he put it.
What, from podcasting?
Yeah. from doing the podcast of awesomeness. They don't know if Christian or Tweety Bird.
What? Why?
To be a family man.
Fair enough. Hang on. That doesn't make sense.
Go on.
When the other half of his family is out on the road every week commentating for NXT, or is that why?
That is one of the reasons why.
Okay, then.
That is generally one of the reasons why.
Fair enough.
Correct. That is genuinely one of the reasons why he is considering to do it, because not having as much time and everything, which is one of the reasons. But for me, I hate to see that go. But I just thought to just do that, a bit of a quick shout out to...
Yeah, let's hope that doesn't happen and that maybe they can sort of, you know...
I think it's already is happening, but fingers crossed, it comes back.
Yeah, let's hope it's just a slight hiatus and it'll come back.
Correct. It's a slight hiatus and it does come back. But anyway, let's just get back onto WWE news, which is the one of the major ones I wanted to discuss, which is WWE has done something recently where it's affected UK.
Yes, they have.
Wrestling scene, which is
UK wrestling scene, which now WWE cannot claim immunity from or indifference to, because it's kind of got its foot lodged thoroughly in the door.
Correct, but the thing is, now a lot of people may know that WWE had many links with Southside. Yes, they
Southside,
did.
yes. They were one of the many companies that WWE was okay with.
Correct. And the funny thing about it is, it's just the fact of, unfortunately, Southside have actually lost a lot of business as such.
And have, on that note, decided that it's probably best if they cease trading, sadly.
The sad thing about it is they've ended up losing business, and because of it, and WWE have pulled away from Southside, not because of the ceased trading.
No, because of ongoings with...
No.
The fact... Well,
it's the
what
fact
Southside have decided to do, or rather, who they've decided to work with.
Well, not work with, to be bought out by.
Yeah, a company who are not on WWE's approved list of British promotions that they don't mind.
Which is none other than Rev Pro Wrestling. Now,
Rev Pro.
The funny thing about it is, everyone's going to be saying, "Well, where's the beef with Rev Pro Wrestling?" It's not actually from what I've looked into. It's not actually directly linked with Rev Pro Wrestling directly themselves. It's more to do with an incident that has been mentioned on here, which is
we discussed it a couple of weeks ago. There's no need to dredge it up again, other than to go over a rough outline of what happened.
Pretty much, it's the referee incident that involved Josh Brodin,
which has painted none of the involved parties in anything other than a horrible light, and should frankly be glossed over. But that was something that WWE obviously wanted nothing to do with, and kind of soured things a little bit.
Correct, especially as footage of it is coming out, and some people are arguing both sides. Some people are doing this. There's a possible court cases being involved with the referee and everything. And I think WWE want to have no part.
WWE would
whatsoever.
Like to be as far removed from that as possible, and in retrospect, probably quite rightly. But the fact that that's happened in a company that is moving in on what was left of Southside means, WWE just did what they are perfectly within their rights to do in light of that, and went, well, you know what, that's fine, but if you're going to go with them, you can't have any of our talent.
Pretty much. And it's not actually to do with them, it's more or less of they want to get away from more or less of the referee incident situation. And
yes.
That's understandable, especially with the fact that some of the wrestlers that were originally scheduled were possibly part of the NXT roster, and with them all going live and everything, they probably wanted to protect their own investments. Fine, okay, moving on. Now, in this case, Southside were in a lot of trouble because they had promises of international superstars as such, and they had to put out almost like an apology. However, another company ended up stepping in and filling up the empty spots instead.
A company more than happy to score cheap points at WWE's expense.
Which is
using the maxim, any publicity is good publicity.
Which is none other than AEW's, AEW themselves, and as such is just, it's just interesting in regards to the fact that you've now got Sean Spears, you've now got Cody Rhodes, MJF going across, and I believe some, Brandy Rhodes as well, going across straight away overseas. And I believe this is for the final show of Southside.
Just for those who thought, oh no, we can't possibly get over that. They've dumped us in the poo and we have lost all our American imports. Yeah, I'm sure whichever NXT guy they were going to send over, who's fantastic and wonderful and on the way up because they've just made it into WWE. Yes. I'm sure Ty Dillinger is a more than capable replacement for that, he says, with tongue firmly planted in cheek.
As much as you can say that, it's still good that the fact that as much as WWE did pull out, and
I can't.
It's on short notice, the fact that they jumped in on short notice is still nice.
Yeah,
it's
absolutely. I can't criticise them for doing it.
It's still a good thing.
It's not a bad thing. It's not.
Correct. And it is. It's, as you can believe. So, in regards to that, what is your view on... Well, we've just covered that with AEW, right? And with that, we've now got to basically move on to the next subject, seeing as we've already covered AEW. Let's actually move on to the next segued topic, which is also bringing back up the Wednesday Night War.
The Wednesday Night War. Oh yeah, the debut of the nice, catchy, easy to chant NXT rival on television on Wednesday nights. What is it called? AEW's Lollapalooza Happy Hour of Wonder and Doom segment.com.
No. It's more simple than that. It is AEW
Not by
Dynamite.
much. AEW Wednesday
Dynamite.
Night Dynamite.
No, it's just Dynamite, but people have been calling it Wednesday Night Dynamite, almost like how they've been calling it Friday Night SmackDown.
Yeah, because of that, because they insist on calling it Monday Night Raw and Friday Night SmackDown. That's why they're doing that. Although, luckily, I think WWE actually has a thing in place that instills the death penalty to anyone that refers to it as Wednesday Night NXT, which is, frankly, a good thing.
Welcome to Wednesday Night NXT. No, this doesn't work. No, sorry.
Next.
I think I need to be shot.
I'll refrain, but only because I need someone to do this show with.
That's fine.
But yeah, anyway, yeah. What? Something immediately has hit me.
Go on.
What was the second string show of when it was TNA that they showed on Wednesdays called? Explosion. What is with companies trying to fight WWE with shows on Wednesday with names themed around things going bang? Explosion, Dynamite. Come on, be a bit more original. What's wrong with you?
Oh, good Lord.
Call it bloody something a bit, 21st century and millennial. Go all Progress Wrestling on them. Call it AEW Blokes with No Trousers Fighting Over a Belt or something like that. I don't know. If that hasn't been a Progress Wrestling chapter title yet, Jim, get on it. He says, kidding himself that Jim Smallman listens to this show.
You never know.
Hey, stranger things have happened. R-Truth, 19-time WWE champion.
And R-Truth, who's also on TikTok. Yes.
as a means to absolutely nothing because that's an irrelevant platform. But okay.
Whoa! It's not. He's actually doing some great laughs.
I'll take it back.
If I'm
That's
not
an irrelevant
mistaken,
platform if you're over 14.
if I'm not mistaken, he actually brought back his old look of Ron Killings.
And I'm sure
On it.
all of the 170 people who watched that will have loved it.
Kicking the crap out of R-Truth.
Okay, now you're sort of getting on to an Ultimate Warrior promo level of that doesn't make any goddamn sense.
Yeah, you need to see it to understand it. You'll have to just check it out. It's just a bit of a quick laugh.
If you say so, yeah, fair enough. But yeah, anyway, Wednesday Night War, as hopefully it will not become known.
It will be. But
so AEW Explosion will probably not do as well
Dynamite.
as NXT. I was just wondering how quickly you'd pick me up on that.
Dynamite.
Explosion. I'm going to call it that from now on because it's going to do as badly in the ratings as that did.
I don't think it will.
Well, put it this way. I think it's going to do what Impact did when they put it on Monday nights. Namely, massive rating spike and comparable to the WWE alternative, followed by colossal, irreversible nosedive down to about 1/10 of the viewers, which it will maintain stable at.
It might not, but it depends on... As much as it's going to pain me to say this, NXT, yes, has a massive rabid following.
Yes. Hi.
But I feel AEW is very hot on its tail with its own rabid fans.
Would you like my 2 cents on this? I don't think they're anywhere near as hot on its tail as they think they are.
I'm not saying that they are hot on their tail, but at the same time, NXT is only just jumping up to their mainstream stage.
Yes, but I think, call me old-fashioned, but I genuinely think the number of viewers NXT was getting on the WWE Network will dwarf the number that AEW will get on television.
Correct.
Because cannot have... Yeah, just solely, not because I want to bash AEW, although I will be honest, that is how it often comes across, simply because it's a prestige thing. You can't build a brand overnight. You've got to start at the bottom. So if they keep going and for many years put on the shows that the roster they've got are capable of, and they don't hire anyone from 90s WWE or WCW or Impact Wrestling to write for them, give them 5 or 10 years and they will keep climbing and eventually become competition. They're not going to be straight out of the bat. That's not how it works.
Never, and I was never digressing that. And the funny thing about it is, if there was any time to take a notch at WWE, now would be technically in a way a chance if they're going to do a war against NXT with it just being built, with it just going over to the live stage. But it is also a crippling stage as well because it's NXT. Because as much as they could argue against it at the same time, they could say this is a war. This could actually either turn out to be an absolutely instrumental moment where it could end up pushing NXT and AEW to the next level and beyond, and making NXT bigger than Raw and SmackDown.
Now, I'm not going to be... I've got to be the first one to say I can't see that happening. But if it does, great. I'm all for it.
We all hope.
Yeah, because frankly, what we really, really want in about 5-10 years' time is the 2 preeminent brands of wrestling in the USA, and therefore, sadly, even today, despite the New Japan's best efforts in the world, to be AEW and NXT.
Who knows? But I'm not saying that. It will be.
I'm not. I wasn't saying it will be. I'm just saying if it is,
I'm
great.
just saying I'm just saying that the Wednesday Night War could actually benefit AEW and NXT, like how the Monday Night Wars of
Oh, absolutely.
Monday
And I,
Night
for one,
Raw
hope it
and
does.
WCW Nitro did for them.
I, for one, hope it does. But all I've got to say is
Hope.
NXT are landing on TV pretty much in fifth gear.
Yeah.
You know, they're pretty much
I'm
going.
agreeing with you on this one.
So,
I'm agreeing with you on this one.
No, so this is purely hypothetical. I agree with what you're saying as well. I'm just saying, let's just say that Explosion does give them a run for money. How much
Dynamite.
further? How much better can they get? Because, like I say, they're already in the outside lane of the Autobahn doing 150. Do you know what I'm saying?
Never say never, but the point being is, it could push them onto bigger and brighter things.
Let's hope so.
Fingers crossed.
Do you know what I would like to see happen?
There's the opposite thing that could happen.
It could kill them stone dead before they've even got going.
It could end up being a one-sided kicking ass competition.
Oh, you mean like a one-legged man in an ass kicking contest, like Raw versus Impact was? I, for one, sincerely hope not, because from all that I've seen and for all that I mock AEW, they appear to have their shit together a hell of a lot better than TNA did
at the time. And do take into account that Impact Wrestling are still going now and doing quite well for themselves.
Yeah, doing quite well for themselves as the fifth biggest name that you think of when you come to wrestling in the USA. Ooh. No, wait, check that, the sixth.
Harsh words. But
the
anyway.
Sixth. Because what do you think of? You think of Raw, you think of SmackDown, you think of NXT, you think of Ring of Honor, and you think of AEW. And then Dynamite. You get Impact.
Dynamite. And that's not even aired its first episode yet.
Yeah, exactly. And then you have Impact. So, yeah, they're carving their own little niche at the bottom rung of the ladder. But no, fair play to them. They're still going. I remember all the people in 2002 who said, I give it 6 months, and they've nearly been going 20 years. So, you know.
Yeah. They've been going strong. They've been doing really well. And the funny thing about it is some of the stuff that they're doing is getting interesting and developing into bigger things. And you'll have to wait and see what comes up, because I'm most likely going to be covering some Impact Wrestling next week, potentially.
Well, that'd be good, because we need to broaden our horizons. I'm tempted to actually sign up to ROH on demand so that I can start watching Ring of Honor, so that between us we can actually cover the world outside British wrestling and WWE/AEW, because, hey, the broader the church, the better, you know?
Correct. But here's the thing. The one thing I will credit Impact Wrestling for is look at the one of the major storylines that's currently going on at the moment, involving Brian Cage and Sami Callihan. That's all I need to say.
No, I know. That is something, trust me, a storyline like that, when they were trying to take it to WWE, would have been, about 30 trillion times better than the rehashed WCW fat old men that they actually put out. That might have actually gotten the foothold, and they might still be in that position. You never know.
But when I first saw it, I thought to myself, this looks like a bit of a rehash of the whole storyline with Thingy. You know, Shawn and Chris Jericho. Yeah. Not hinting what it is, so I want you to watch it to find out what I'm referring to.
What you were going to say was you thought you feared it could be a rehash of that, but it's not.
It's not, because something happened in it that it was just,
yeah, a little bit of fourth wall breaking.
A little bit. It comes across as, in regards to what happened with Jericho, yeah, it was a bit fourth wall breaking with the Jericho and HBK line. But Jericho didn't say anything with the aftermath.
No. Well, to be fair, if any of you are intrigued by this, by all means, go watch Impact Wrestling. Find out what Mr. Matt Burns is talking about.
That's all I'm just going to say.
But we need to wrap up now because we've been going a very long time. It's very late,
That we do.
I, like the listeners, I'm sure, want to go to bed.
Pretty much. Same for myself. But anyway, we digress, and we are going to go into some UK wrestling, which I'll just state right now. For myself, I actually ended up wrestling, and when I say UK wrestling, I'm just going to be discussing what I've been doing, really, more so.
That's essentially as good as any, really, yeah.
Which is the fact that on Friday night at United Wrestling, I was actually, it was myself and Johnny Concrete versus Barricade and BFD. I will say, entertaining match. I've actually come out with some fair bruises from it, and I will state, Barricade is he is a tall bloke, over 6 foot. I'd say he's definitely over 6'2", drop kicking both me and Concrete.
Blimey.
But
that was going some.
Yeah, that is. But I faced Barricade the previous month and managed to get the win, and the same result ended up happening. We ended up getting the win. Me and Concrete did, with me rolling up Barricade in a roll-up pin, and Barricade laid down the law. He wanted. He turned around and said, "I cheated. I can dance in the crowd as much as I want to." He was distracted this time by music, which, fair enough, I understand, but he might have been distracted by, especially with it being Tommy Taylor, who, if I'm not mistaken, was suspended from United Wrestling due to his actions, but against Alton Thorne. And I believe Alton Thorne was still recovering from some of the savagely beating he took from Tommy Taylor, but at the same time, I don't blame Tommy Taylor in regards to he had enough of Alton Thorne. Alton Thorne pushed too far. But anyway, point being is, it looked like from that moment, while I was outside and Barricade was accusing me of taking advantage of the situation. Now, as much as I can say, he took his focus off me.
Well, yeah, which is, of course, during a competitive thing, like a wrestling match, pretty fatal, as he found out the hard way.
Correct. And he tried to make the claim of, I was distracted, and I pointed out clearly to him, okay then, you were distracted this time round and you lost focus. What happened the last show? Last month, when I beat you one-on-one?
At which point, I'm sure that was akin to, what's the phrase? Oh, yeah, poking a stick repeatedly into a wasp's nest.
Yeah, he declared me as cheating.
He declared that you were a no-good, cheating, good-for-nothing word that I can't use on a family broadcast, and probably did something happen that involved weapons and you waking up with a very sore various parts of your anatomy?
Not yet.
Oh, but you can see it very painfully on your horizon. Rather you than me, pal.
Yeah, because you're about to hear something stupid that comes from my own mouth, and I've actually had time to think about it.
And you're still going to say it, wowzers, okay.
Yeah, it was fairly brave, but I've said it, I ain't backing down either.
What did you say?
Right. He cleared off, he was going to clear off, if nobody's going to deal with the situation, he's just going to leave, like he's about to leave with a temper tantrum. Now, he had what he had to say. Now, was I going to sit there and take what he just said, the jabs on the chin?
No.
Hell no. I grabbed the mic and demanded him to come back.
I see.
That's not the
Come
moment.
back here. I'm not finished with you yet, sunshine.
No. You got some hard words from me. You think you can beat me, right? You've lost twice. We're gonna go. You want to go one more time? Fine by me. Let's go a third time. How about this? You name the match. You name the place. You name the time. I'll be there.
Impressive.
Now, to me, that is, okay, set stones, you could say, can't you?
Yeah, you pretty much can.
any match, and he gets the pick.
Okay. So something tells me. Has he chosen yet?
No.
Something tells me you may possibly need to take out life insurance.
I already have.
Thank goodness for that.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, I would just like to inform you that
That'll be next month, possibly.
I would just like to inform you that should the absolute worst happen, I will be ending the Burning Truth as a mark of respect to the memory of Matt Burns.
Yeah, cheers for that. Cheers for that. I did actually have it. I have got it written in my will. If something did happen to me, you get the equipment.
Marvellous, marvellous.
So you should be able to continue on.
But no, I will be. I don't know whether I should end the show as a tribute to you, or carry on because it's what you would have wanted. I'm conflicted. Basically, just do us a favour and find some way to not die. Thanks.
Pretty much. That's not a problem. That's not a problem. But then it's the fact of the next United show is possibly going to be a special night where their next United show is where anything can happen, any special matches. And there's a rumour of it, there's going to be possible matches like no disqualification.
What is it? United Wrestling Lockdown?
It's going to be a sort of almost.
Matches inside the 8 sides of steel. Sorry.
Basically, it's going to be a night of anarchy. And I could very well be involved in it against Barricade.
I'm sure. Yeah. That should be fun. Right, we really need to wrap up because...
Almost done. But anyway, Saturday, I was actually out in Kidderminster. Originally, there was meant to be a scheduled 12-hour show event.
12 hours, blimey.
Unfortunately, ended up being cancelled due to it being an outside event. Unfortunately, due to bad weather. Instead, it ended up being a gathering of wrestlers in full gear at the Duke pub in Kidderminster, where we decided to meet up to help to be there for support, and we ended up doing dart matches.
Pro wrestling darts.
Correct.
If you're watching Alex Shane, there's your next big TV idea.
Correct. And
all checks made payable to the Burning Truth.
All I will say is, I have to say, curses to Big Rich, you beat me at darts.
Fair enough. I'd have probably lost in the first round to the old blind bloke sat in the corner of the bar.
No,
because I can't play darts. I'm terrible at it.
And neither can I. I was terrible. I only found out after my match I should have shut down and played it from sitting down.
Not technically legal under the rules, but if it made you better at it, then fair play.
Okay, fair enough.
How many people lost and chokeslammed the winner through the table because they forgot where they were?
We had one match actually be thrown out due to the one of the dart stories being absolutely brutalised by an associate of the winner.
Wrestlers will be wrestlers.
That they will be. But anyway, that was Saturday, and then Slam was on, for Sunday, because I will say which was for Sunday, which is today, which is Slam Wrestling. I attended. I was not actually on the show, but I ended up doing a bit of helping hand with Slam Wrestling, who actually put out an absolute stellar show, of course, and even introduced a new concept match, if I'm not mistaken. I believe it was Seed Borders. It was Siege Borders, they called it, which was a unique concept. But in regards to what that was,
I was going to say, what does that involve, or can you not say?
It involves one team starting in the ring.
So far, so logical.
And there's a 20-minute clock.
Okay.
And the second team's on the outside.
This is all starting to go a bit TNA. Please do bring it back.
Winner is the team with the most wrestlers in the ring at the end of the time.
What? So essentially, all the team on the outside bomb into the ring, and it becomes essentially a battle royal.
Almost, but the
Although
problem is
getting thrown out and getting eliminated, obviously, because you can get back in.
correct. But the funny thing about it is, you can fall through the ropes. You're not eliminated or anything. You've got to get the entire team out and get one member in.
Yeah, that would. Do you know what I think would make that work better?
One.
Honestly, it's a great concept, but what would make it work better is if neither team started in the ring.
True. But I think they wanted to escalate the
or if both did, a la Battle Royal, perhaps. I mean, it gives one an unfair advantage. But anyway, it's good to know that the concept of trying to come up with different matches is alive and well.
Correct. And I can also state it was a Slam Wrestling first and only first. We actually got to see it officially for the first time ever. And at the moment, I think it's only being copyrighted by Slam Wrestling at the moment in time.
I see. Well, good luck to them keeping it to themselves and making it into their annual showpiece extraordinaire.
It could very well possibly be, and it's a unique idea. But anyway, that is going to be a wrap-up for this week. We're not going to discuss next week's topics because we've already talked about what could be possible topics next week. And I'm just going to move quickly and swiftly on to plugs right now, which is none other. We're going to I'm just going to beat down straight through the plugs right now, which is I'm just going to discuss, UKWA. Please check out UK Wrestling Alliance. Please check out Manchester Pro Wrestling Academy, who also had a show tonight, I believe, with their Grand Prix show. Which, if anybody's interested in checking it out, check out on their social media. They also have beginner classes on Monday, which are £10 per class, 7 p.m. till 9 p.m. But for location details, please check out on their social media. Please check out JFX 3D Printing. They do absolutely amazing custom-made championships. Fortunately, you probably just noticed that I actually didn't mention JG Printing and Stitching. Unfortunately, it looks like they've actually closed up right now, as he is selling off the equipment. So it looks like JG Printing will be no longer doing the custom-made jobs, unfortunately. But if
real shame.
It is a massive shame. But I just thought to give them one quick shout out before. They are leaving, but they are trying to sell the equipment off. So please check out on the social media if anybody's interested in that sort of equipment for themselves. Of course, we recommend everybody to check out charities like Mind and Changes for Healthy Wellbeing, and of course Messy for Mine, especially with it being all for mental health and as such, and mental well-being. Always make sure you're all good.
Absolutely, and if you think someone else might not be, make sure they are as well.
Correct. We also recommend you check out the lighter side of wrestling, especially with Botchamania, WrestleCrap, and OSW Review. You're welcome, Matthew.
Cheers, RD.
And of course, the guys from OSW, you're welcome at all. Please check out, YouTube channels like Phil DeFranco, Luke Moto, who's got multiple channels, if I'm not mistaken. The lad seems to be growing a new channel almost every week. He's that busy.
Impressive.
We also recommend everybody to check out When Phantom Strikes, especially her TikTok. She's absolutely amazing, genius as such. We also recommend everyone to check out First with Feast, especially the Hot Ones series. And of course, we also recommend everyone to check out, for all things geeky, nerdy, DC, Marvel, and all things comic possibly related. We also recommend you to check out podcast Geek of the Week, hosted by none other than
Magic Mark Adams.
Correct, who is an absolute mainstay. I also recommend everyone to check out Drain Pop Culture, as they do actually cover some wrestling topics, but also other topics as well as such, which is they do discuss films, beers, and other stuff.
Yep.
And we also recommend... What? Carry on.
I would also like to recommend, in that vein, obviously the Distraction Pieces podcast with Scroobius Pip, which is not a wrestling-related podcast, but has a different guest every week. Past guest with a wrestling theme, including Eddie Dennis, Grado, Jack Gallagher, and Matt Richards. Also, in the same vein, check out Tuesday Night Jaw, which is on the same, I think it's the Distraction Pieces Network, which is an exclusively wrestling-themed show presented by said Matt Richards. Used to be presented by Jim Smallman. You know him, the bloke that does Progress Wrestling. Well worth a listen.
Definitely. We also recommend others to check out We the Independent, of course, which is, absolutely amazing podcast with amazing guys that are on it, with amazing interviews, and they've also, especially with their current goal that they are trying to get British wrestling some, its own union.
Absolutely.
All under, with their involvement with equity.
A goal to be driven towards, strive for. Correct. Whatever the word is. Very noble, and please check them out and offer them your support.
Correct. And aside from, we've now discussed all the podcasts. I also, this is for me from just today, a colleague of mine, a colleague who I bumped into, he's actually got a website, which is Fabaloony, which is, the website is www.fabaloony.co.uk, where it's party time all the time, which they basically do all things, for great for party guests, especially do party packages, soft play and bouncy castles, magic shows, mini discos, face painting and glitter art, stilt walking, balloon modelling, balloon decorating, and fire and illusion shows. And this is all under being protected by equity, of course, as well. And if I'm not mistaken, they're also on Facebook as well. I just thought I'd mention that, especially straight after We the Independent, seeing as they are linked with equity.
Makes perfect sense.
True. And of course, we also recommend you check out Kayfabe Music UK, especially seeing as, we've got to give them a shout out, especially with the amazing work that they've done for our intro.
Brilliant.
Which is, pretty much out of the park, and I can also say they do absolutely amazing work for great valuable prices, so please check them out. We also recommend everyone to check out Turnbuckle TV, of course. So much wrestling, so much. 30 plus companies for how much?
$3.99 a month.
£1 a week, need I say more.
30 plus companies, more being added all the time. Basically, the eventual aim of being the Netflix of British wrestling.
Correct. And of course, there's always new content being added on there from all said multiple companies. And of course, we also always recommend everyone to check out their local wrestling. Just some case examples: United Wrestling, Academy Pro Wrestling, FCW, who might actually add, had a show tonight as well. Of course, Fusion Pro Wrestling for You, and Slime Wrestling, and any you want to mention right now?
I'm just thinking there's Falling Star Wrestling, Future Shock Wrestling, ICW, PCW, LDN. Just trying to think. Progress. Don't forget them. And of course, many, many others. Basically, Google wrestling in my area, and you can pretty much find your nearest promotion. Or, alternatively, there's another way you could do it.
That is very, very true, which is you could always just check out it on your mobile app, on a mobile app none other than Babyface Wrestling UK.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is not only your one-stop shop for finding your local wrestling promotion and your new heroes, but it's free.
It's free, of course. But not only that, it's also a great way to actually get connection with the wrestlers themselves, because not only do you get information on just said companies, you can also follow certain wrestlers and actually raise them up on, if I'm not mistaken, the wrestlers and the companies are on a chart. So, I know this might sound like a cheap plug and a cheap knock, if anybody does want to follow me on there, please do so. Just click please check me out on Babyface Wrestling UK, which I am on there. But of course, we also recommend you check out UKWA, who is also on there as well.
Well, there you go then.
And of course, last but not least, please check out the Burning Truth website, which is www.theburningtruthuk.com. We could go through everything that's already on there, but
let's just say, safe to say, we are on all the social medias.
That we are. Just in some case and points, which is Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and Twitter, which the handle for that is spelled is a little bit different, which is spelled WRESLING for THWALL. And of course, we've got some past episodes on Spotify, and that is it for this week.
Wow. We were going to be quick. That ended up being a long one, but I think we've covered a lot of ground. So, thank you very much for listening, and tune in next week when we will be talking about stuff that we haven't told you what it is yet. But hey, there's got to be a bit of suspense. Sure, tune in and find out next week.
But then again, it could be a different episode because we may even talk non-wrestling subjects.
Because, hey, briefly, we're going to start working that in as well, because over the time we want to expand simply beyond just wrestling. We're not going to leave it behind.
No, we're not leaving it behind, don't worry.
We just want to broaden our horizons, as I'm sure you do too. So, yeah. Also, currently, nothing has happened. There isn't one, so don't look for it. But hopefully, by the end of the year, The Burning Truth may have a companion YouTube channel.
Ooh.
Because I am being repeatedly told that I should have one because it's a 21st century thing to do. So, with that in mind, details to follow when there are any.
Interesting.
Keep that in the back of your mind.
Keep that back in your mind. And as I've already covered in past episodes, who knows? TBT Gaming could be even making a return. Who knows?
You just never know.
But anyway, we digress. I'm just going to end this episode right now, and to always recommend everyone to make sure to keep themselves healthy and positive. And when I say healthy, I don't just mean physically, I also mean mentally.
Because that's just as important.
Make sure to take care of yourselves because you're all awesome. And we will catch you next week. So please, 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 as always, check out your local wrestling. And of course, stay well, stay safe, and we'll catch you next week.
Thank you for listening and good night.
Catch you later.